Shankaram Sivashankaram. பாடல் விரையார் கொன்றையினாய். பண் கௌசிகம். திருமுறை 3. பாடியவர் திருஞானசம்பந்தர். ராகம் பைரவி. தலம் திருவான்மியூர், Chennai. In this video, we talk about the short history of the Marundheeswarar temple in Thiruvanmiyur, Chennai. We then talk about Thirugnanasambandar's style of singing. We do an analysis of this song Virayaar Konraiyinaay, and then we go on to do a detailed explanation of the stanzas 1 to 4 of this Thevaram. So let's start with the history of this temple. The Marundheeswarar temple in Chennai was probably already present when the Pallavas took control of Thondai Mandalam. Thondai Mandalam was the area between the south of Andhra to the whole of Tamil Nadu. The Pallavas took control of this place around between the 3rd and the 9th century CE. This temple was then further expanded when the Cholas came to rule, and that was during the 11th century. So the Sivan in this temple is called by different names. First, the Marundeeswarar. Now, Shivan is called this name because he is said to have taught Agasthyar the medicinal qualities of herbs to eradicate diseases. He is also known as Pal Vannanadar, and this is because Kamadhenu was cursed to come to this temple, and she had lost her divinity as part of the curse. So when she came to this temple, she came to the earth, she started giving milk to Lord Siva to regain her divinity, and because she gave the milk, he is called Pal Vannanadar. He is also known as Thiruvanmiyur, which is because Shiva blessed sage Valmiki. You know, Valmiki wrote the Ramayana. So in Tamil, he is not known as Valmiki, he is known as Vanmiki. So Vanmiki Nadar, Thiruvanmiki Nadar, and this town or this village at that time was known as Thiruvanmiyur, which got shortened to Thiruvanmiyur. He is also said to be facing west. Now this is because Appaya Dikshitar, a great Sanskrit scholar, was unable to see Shiva because of the floods, and he was always seeing the back of Lord Shiva. So when Shiva was very moved by Appaya's prayer, he turned around, and that is why he is facing west in this temple. Now let's go on to see what Thirugnanasambandar's style of singing is. So we all know that Thirugnanasambandar was a very small child. He was blessed by the Jnanappal of Ambal herself, and so just think from a child, when you ask a child about an experience at a fair or a carnival, he or she is going to use as many adjectives as possible to either describe the people in that fair, or he or she is going to describe the surroundings in the fair, or maximum what else will they describe? The rides that they took and how much fun it was. So if you can think of the various forms of Shiva as a child would do, and also imagine the description of the place from a child's perspective, then you can easily relate to Thirugnanasambandar's Thevarams. Because he gives us an example of how a child or a person with a childlike innocence can really love that Lord Shiva. So given this background, let us proceed towards the analysis of this Thevaram. So Thirugnanasambandar comes to the Thiruvanmiyur Koil, to the temple, after resurrecting Poompavai in Mylapore. So Thirugnanasambandar enters the temple, and see what Sekar says in his Periya Puranam. தாழ்ந்து பலமுறை பணிந்த தம்பிரான் முன்னின்று வாழ்ந்து களிப்பற. So தாழ்ந்து பலமுறை, that means by bowing or prostrating many times, பணிந்த, worshipping, தம்பிரான், Lord Shiva, முன்னின்று, in front of him, வாழ்ந்து களிப்பற, he becomes ecstatic or very happy he is. After worshipping Lord Shiva, he sings this Thevaram. Now the first two lines of each of the para of this Thevaram is basically just praising Lord Shiva by describing either how he looks or what he wears. In some paragraphs he also describes Uma Devi, and Shiva is described as having an axe, a snake, a moon, the Ganges, and Uma Devi sitting on one side of him or as one part of him. The third line is basically describing Thiruvanmiyur. So he talks about Thiruvanmiyur being on the shore with the cool water or clear water in the sea, or it's got wet fields, it's got different shrubs, different trees like the Tulasi tree, the Kondrai trees, etc. But there's one interesting point to note. In one of the paragraphs, he talks about fortified walls. Now, those who have been to Chennai and to Thiruvanmiyur, I don't think you've ever seen these fortified walls. So, just to understand or to help us understand why Thirugnanasambandar has spoken about these, like Thin Madilgal as he calls it, let us delve slightly into the history. So, from the 3rd to the 9th century, as I said before, Pallava dynasty ruled over this place. And Kanchipuram was their main trading capital. Now, for international trade to happen, you need ports. So, the two main ports was one Mylapore and the other Mamalapuram. So, it was called Mamalapuram or Mahabalipuram. Mammalapuram, Mammala in Sanskrit means the great wrestler or the very strong one. So, that's why that was the name given to Narasimhavarman, who was the Pallava king at that point in time. Now, Pallavas constructed a fortified citadel on a hill. Okay, and a royal fleet was organized to guard the harbor from any attack. So that is why they would have built these walls all the way, maybe between the two ports, and from Mylapore all the way till Mammalapuram, or they would have just been fortified walls around the area, Mylapore, and around the area of Mammalapuram. So Thiruvanmiyur is not very far from Mylapore. So that is why on the way from there to Thiruvanmiyur, he must have seen these fortified walls and he must have sung about it. Now, why you don't see them now is because there was a great tsunami around the 13th century CE, and also maybe because of any invasions from the north. That's why they must have broken these walls. The fourth line is the headline of this Thevaram, or it is the soul of this Thevaram. And let's see what Sekular actually says. Sekular says it's recited in a question form. So he says, Tirupadiga Chonmalai Vinapurayal Vilnd Perin Kadaludan Satamiga Inbutrar. So he says Vinapurayal in a question like. Now I'll tell you in a few minutes where exactly he's talking in a question form. So the very first word of the last line of every stanza, he is basically describing Siva in that one word in different forms. He's saying Araya, which is O King, Ayya, respected one, Anba, the most loved one, or the embodiment of love, Anda, which is basically the earth form, Arive, the knowledgeable one, etc. And then he says, Unnai Allal Adayadu Yenadadarave. So this is a very interesting line, because if you take the literal meaning, it says, okay, who else will be my support other than you, O Lord Shiva? Or if I do not attain you, who else can be the support of my existence? Or who else will I love to attain other than you? Now let's look at the interpretation of this line, because it can be interpreted in many ways. So again, we refer to Sekular, because Sekular says, Piravi Marundana Perintagayai Suzhanda. So he calls Lord Shiva Perintagayai, which is a very noble person, but he says a very interesting word which is apt for this Marundheeswarar. He calls him Marundana, like a medicine. But he says, okay, like a medicine to do what? So when you start repeating the word Shiva, 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 it becomes Va, Shiva, Shiva, Shivashi. And Vash in Sanskrit or Shwas in Sanskrit means to breathe, which is Prana. We say Prana, right? To breathe. Or Praniti, which is to breathe. Now Shvasiti or Prashvasiti is to breathe in, and Nihishvasiti is to breathe out. So if you take only remove the Shvasiti and take Prani means the living creature. So the living creature that breathes, that has the prana reading going through them, or the shwas, the breath going through them, becomes a prani, a living creature. Now Shiva is that life force, or the breath that runs through us. So the moment the Shiva leaves, we are called Shava in Sanskrit, again, which means a corpse or a cadaver or a dead body. So if you take the literal meaning of this line, who else other than that Shiva, the prana, the breath, can support my existence? Because without a breath in your body, you are a Shava. So you can understand this in that way. Or you can even say the medicine to make me remain in bliss, because Shiva in Sanskrit also means, or Shiva means bliss. So the one who can give you that bliss. So who else will give me the bliss if not you? So if I do not attain you, who else can give me that bliss, or who else can make me remain in that blissful state? Another interpretation is the medicine to help me leave this birth or leave the birth and death cycle. Now Shiva is known as the destroyer, so you can take this interpretation to be the one who destroys my birth and death cycle so that I never get reborn and I merge with the holy light. So hope this gives you some perspective when you start delving into the meaning of the individual stanzas. Let me also remind you that there is a link to the song that is sung in this description below. Let us go into the detailed explanation of stanzas 1 to 4. பாடல் எண் 1. Stanza 1. Virayaar Konraiyinaay விடம் உண்டு மிடற்றினனே. So Viray plus R, Viraiyar. Viray means fragrant, R means full of or niraya, plenty. Konraiyinaay, Kondrai, the Kondrai flowers. Konraiyinaay, one who's got the Kondrai flowers, who's wearing fragrant Kondrai flowers. Vidam undu midatrinane. Midaru means the throat. So midatrinane, one who's got that throat. What throat? Vidam undu. Vidam is Visham, the poison. Undu, having eaten the poison. You know, he took the ala poison and his throat became dark blue because they held the poison on his throat, so it became stained or it became dark blue, and that's why he's got a stained throat. Viraiyar pal pugarai. So Viraiyar, those who speak, pal pugarai, very famous or good, they speak a lot of words of fame that praise Uma Devi. Nangayor bangudayai. Nangayor is a very distinguished person or very highly regarded person, woman. Bangudayai, one who's got as one half. So Uma Devi, who's praiseworthy or who's got a lot of fame, and she is a distinguished person who's one half of Lord Shiva. Virayaar ten kadal sool, Thiruvanmiyur urayum. So Thiruvanmiyur, which is, you know, it's by the shore. So he says Thillai. Thillai is here waves of the sea are, again, plenty of waves. Ten kadal sool is the clear water. Ten is clear, kadal is the sea, sool is surrounded by urayum. So Lord Shiva, who is sitting in this Thiruvanmiyur, which is surrounded by the sea with clear waves. Araya unnayallal adayad enadaadarave. Araya, O king, unnayallal, except you, besides you, adayad, if I do not attain, enadaadarave, who else will be my support? So, O king, the bearer of very fragrant Kondrai flowers, the one who swallowed the poison using his throat, which became dark blue as a result of the poison, the one who has the very respected and highly regarded and distinguished Uma Devi as one part of him, the one who resides in Thiruvanmiyur, which is surrounded by the sea full of clear waves of water, if I do not attain you, who else will be my support? பாடல் எண் 2. Stanza 2. இடியார் ஏருடையாய் இமையோர் தம் மணிமுடியாய். So idi are, idi is thunder, are full of, ஏர் உடையாய், ஏர் here means bull. So the bull which has either a thunderous roar or is like, you know, when it comes charging at you, it is like as if it is thundering. So ஏர் உடையாய், one who is on the bull or who's got a bull like that. இமையோர் தம் மணிமுடியாய். இமையோர் means the celestials, tam there. மணிமுடியாய், mani plus mudi. So mani here is the golden or the gem studded. Mudi is not the head, but it is the crown. So it is the golden or the gem studded crown. Kodiyar Mamadiyodu. So Kodiyar can mean Parvati Devi, because it has a meaning which is Ammai, Amma or mother. And because Thirugnanasambandar got Jnanapal from his mother Parvati, he calls her Kodiyar or Ammayar or Parvati Devi. So she is the mother. Ma Madi, so big moon. Maamadiyode along with the big moon. Aravam is the snake. Malar Konraiyinaay. So Malar here is the flowers. Konraiyinaay who's got Kondrai flowers. Sediyar Madhavi Sool. So Sedi plus R. Sedi is here shrubs or plants are plenty of. Madhavi Sool. Madhavi is the holy Tulsi tree. Sool surrounded by. And Thiruvanmiyur Urayum Adigel. So Adigel is just a variation of Adigal. The Adigal means like big person, Guru, or oh God. So it's just a poetic version of Adigal. Unnayallal Adayadi Anadhadarave. Who else will be my support? O Lord Shiva, the Great One, the one who sits on a thunderous bull, the one who is the gem-studded crown of the celestials, it's God of the celestials, the one who is Parvati Devi as one half, the big moon, the snake, and the one who wears Kondrai flowers, the one who resides in Thiruvanmiyur, which is surrounded by plenty of shrubs and the holy Tulsi tree. If I do not attain you, who else will be my support? Padal Yen 3, stanza 3. Kai ar venmaluva. So kai ar is kai niraindu, that is fully in the hand or filled in the hand. Venmalu. Ven is white or glittering white, you can say dazzling white. Malu is the axe that Shiva has. Kanal is fire. Kanal pole is like the fire. Thirumeniyane. Thiru is just with respect. Meni is his body. So his body which is fire like or fiery red, you can say. Mai are one kan. So mai are is filled with mai, that is kajal. One kan is very beautiful kan eyes. Nal are very good natured person. Umayal, so Uma Devi. Valar Marbinane. So Valar Marbu, you can say either broad chest. Now the broad chest is because maybe Uma Devi is residing inside it, so it needs to be broad. Or chest is broad so that it holds, it includes Uma Devi. Now Sei are, Sei is wet fields, R is niraindu, filled with or plenty of. Senkayal Pai. So Senkayal, Kayal is a type of fish which is carp as they call it. Seng is red color, so red color carp. Pai, it keeps jumping in the wet fields. Thiruvanmiyur Urayum, in Thiruvanmiyur where Lord Shiva resides. Ayya, O respected person. Unnayallal adayadi anadhadarave. What will who else will be my support if I do not attain you? So, O respected person, the one who has a glittering or dazzling white axe, which is held completely in his hand, the one who has a fiery red body, the one who has a good-natured and dazzling-eyed Uma Devi in his broad chest, the one who resides in Thiruvanmiyur, which is flourishing with wet fields, with the red carp playfully jumping in them. If I do not attain you, who else will be my support? Padal Yen 4, stanza 4. Pon polum sadai mel. Pon is gold, pon polum like gold, sadai, his matted hair, on his matted hair, sadai mel. Punal Tangiya Punyane. So Punyane is a virtuous one. Punal Tangiya, here Punal is actually the flood or the water. Here he is referring to the Ganges, Mother Ganga, which is sitting on the matted hair. Min polum purinul. Min is lightning, like lightning. Purinul. Puri is twisted nool. Here he is talking about the punul, that is the sacred thread that Lord Shiva wears on his body. Vidai area Vediyane. Vidai is the bull, area having mounted the bull. Vediyane, the one who is the creator of the Vedas, or one who has recited all the Vedas, or who knows all the Vedas. Tenpal Vayam Yellam. So Tenpal, the southern side, Vayam of the world. Now you can say Thirugnanasambandar talks about the world as talks about India as the world. So he calls India as the world because he must not have travelled past India. So Tenpal Vayam Yellam, Tigarum Thiruvan Idanil. So Tigarum is glittering, or the very famous Thiruvanmiyur, which is in the southern part of the world or southern part of India. Anba Unnayallal Adayadi Anadhadarave. Anba, O loved one, or the embodiment of love. If not you, if I do not attain you, who else will be my support? So, O loved one, or O embodiment of love, the virtuous one who bears the river Ganges on his golden matted locks of hair, the one who wears a dazzling like lightning twisted sacred thread, the one who knows all the Vedas and the one who is seated on the bull, the one who resides in Thiruvanmiyur, the jewel or the most famous town or city of the southern part of the world. If I do not attain you, who else will be my support? Shankaram, Siva Shankaram.